So, I'm about to talk about what everybody wants to know about, right? And it's called the rich people debt hack. It's called borrow until you die. If you wake up one morning and you find yourself rich, what people will do is instead of selling off their assets, what they're going to do is they're going to borrow against the assets. Say the key to this is that you have to have assets, right? So you have to have gotten rich. So most people, they hear this and are like, well, when I get my first million, I'll think about it, right? Like what people have, kind of forgotten is that you can get rich slow over time too, right? So if you're a normal person and, you know, you have a house, you have a regular job, average salary now is I think 70,000, you know, but I still do my math on 60,000 because I think most people are making 60,000. They're just outliers that are higher, but so even if you do the math on that, let's say you get up to $4 or $5 million in assets, over 30 or 40 years, instead of selling off those assets, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the bank and say, hey, I have these assets, and how much would you loan against these assets, right? Based on how much the assets are making, right? So that's kind of the hack, right? So, and then, instead of selling off your assets just continue to grow, right? And then what's the even better hack, right? So say you get up to 4 or 5 million in assets, after your 30 years or however long you've been investing. Most people can get to financial freedom within 10 years, right? So keep that in mind. That's, I'm a life coach and that's what I teach is how what I teach to people, right? Regular people to get to the financial freedom goal in less than 10 years, usually no matter where they're starting from, but so the idea is you go to the bank, and the bank says, okay, I'll give you, if it's stocks, they're probably not going to give you but 50% of what the stocks are worth, right? So you're obviously going to, have a smart head about it and only borrow what you actually need, right? So they're going to go in, they're going to borrow, so say you got 4 million, they're going to go borrow 1 million, and just say the payment on that million is, say, 30,000 a year, something like that. Well, their $4 million is easily going to cover that $30,000 a year, right?